Okay, allegedly that's working. And it's already reporting, yeah, it's already reporting frame rate drops. Awesome. All right, so I've got Unity 6 installed. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new project. We now have a drop down. So if you had, like I used to have, like 17 versions of Unity, then it's trying to pick one at random for you here. I've just got Unity 6 now, so we're good. We're going to go, I guess, we could go back to 3D built-in pipeline. Let's do that. For this week, we'll do that. We'll do built-in. So we're going to do 3D built-in render pipeline. This is the older one. It doesn't do as many cool things. I've got to download the template. Doesn't do as many of the cool things like atmospheric fog and different shaders and things like that. But it runs a little better. So we're gonna start easy there. If you haven't done it yet, set a default location for your Unity projects. So I've got in my documents folder, I've got a folder called Unity projects, and then whatever name I put up here. Then that folder name will be inside my Unity projects folder. And so that's probably the biggest folder on my dying hard drive. Yeah, you can set a default there. Looks like it downloaded the template. So 3D built-in render pipeline. And we'll create the project. So we're calling this a first-person jumper. We'll just grab some cool stuff, drop it in. Great time for those who took DET 220. Great time for anyone not named Maya. I think almost everyone else. There's a few. You're not named Maya. If you've made a bunch of crates and barrels and fun stuff, let's kick those things around. So yeah, there's that. We'll get good night. So here's some old videos, day 1 and day 2. We'll post new ones soonish. And almost the same rubric again for DET 255, the final, with some different things. But we're gonna pretend we've never seen Unity 3D before and start over. Did yours loaded faster than mine? See, I do need a new computer. You need a new laptop too? We'll just make a request. We need 19 new laptops in room 314.
I have a free SD.
Okay. You've got customizable convertible keys. Like, go you.
I made it. I use this keyboard.
University should accidentally give us all 3D laptops with like RTX 5090s.
They should give us.
I think 4090. I
Powerful laptops, honestly.
don't remember the specs on what I'm getting, but it seemed nice.
I need something.
Oh, blast.
Runs like in zero.
A lot of quantum
Max
computers.
All right. So here's the fun part. I'm just going to go ahead and call it out now. I've taught this class somewhere just south of a bajillion times, but I've never taught it in Unity 6. So we may run into some things. Yeah, you may see me look surprised, which is fun for me because I don't want to get bored. But like, yeah, it just is what it is. Looks like the new template already comes with Unity input system, which I haven't played as much with. And I prefer input manager because for the longest input system was still kind of beta-ish. Is it?
It's very nice.
Is it? It got nice? It wasn't nice when it first came
I
out.
don't know. I use it.
Okay.
But I'm also a manager, so I don't have anything.
All right, so we're going to muddle through. All right, sample scene. So the first thing we want to do is we want to save this scene as something else because sample scene is so basic. We can tell what's happening. So we're just going to call this, I don't know, week 1. And then I'm going to put my initials on it because this scene is basically what you'll be turning in. helps me keep track so I don't give Addison, Samuel's points. If you've got your initials on it, I can track what's what. All right, new scene. So I'm just going to go file and go to game object and 3D object, and I'm going to choose a terrain. So we'll make a terrain and we'll just play with this for a while. For whatever reason, the terrain origin point is right here on the very corner of it. So if I make something else new, like I'm going to make just make a cube, right? And it's going to drop that somewhere. Oh, it dropped it somewhere weird. Where's it at? If I set this cube to 0, 0, 0, then it's right there. If I hit F, it frames in on it, but not when I'm not in that. Okay. Grab the cube, hit F. So this is the origin point of our world, 0, 0, and everything goes off in different directions. Again, so we have this giant terrain, like off in this one corner. I don't know why they do that. They do. When I drop other things in and I want to center them around 0, I get confused. So what I generally do is I'll look at my terrain, and it's set to, let me go here. So if you've got something selected here in the hierarchy, again, we're pretending we've never looked at Unity before. You can see it here in the scene. Over here in the inspector window, whatever you've got selected, you can see the properties of that. Almost everything, I think everything, literally everything. Empties that have nothing have a transform. So you've got position, rotation, and scale. So my terrain is set at 0, 0, 0, and then goes off in this direction. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at my terrain settings. So if I've got terrain selected, then I've got this terrain settings over here in the inspector. And it's a tree distance, terrain width, and terrain length. We're at 1,000 meters. What is that in feet, in miles? I don't know. What's the conversion? Yeah. We ain't British. Yeah, so that's like big or something. We'll keep it at that just so we can play around with it. But knowing that it's 1,000 and 1,000, then I'm going to come up here and my X and Z, because Y is up in Unity, maybe different from Blender. I'm going to go to negative 500, and then on the Z, I'm going to go to negative 500. Now, in spite of its origin point on the corner, it's centered in my world. It matters to me because I'm just that person. Sorry. So anyway, so we've centered that. We've got all these cool buttons to play with on terrains. So we've got this middle one we can paint trees on. If we have trees downloaded, we can paint on flowing grass. We're going to do that. We can paint textures. And then this is creating neighbor terrains. If you don't want to come in here and say, just change your terrain width and length because you're making, you want it to be a little bit modular and you're making like, Elder Scrolls 17 and you need like miles and miles of land, then you can use neighbor terrains, but we probably won't mess with that. We probably won't make worlds that big. So I'm going to come back here to the second little button on our giant Unity tab farm, and this is for painting textures. We started with an empty scene. I've got nothing. So now would be a good time to either go find my textures from previous classes or go to the amazing, where'd my link go? Unity Asset Store. assetstore.unity.com. You should already have a login for this because you had to have a login to download Unity and they want like personal license, blah, blah, all that. So same login. If you hit this button, then maybe the browser is smart and remembers who you are. There we go. It's me. So we can search for, I don't know, something like grass texture. Oh, I forgot about that. I'll fix my Opera browser. I got a theme on it, and it had sounds, and I like it at home, but it's annoying here. So there's all these things you can filter by price, and just click this magic button here that says free. It should just say college student on it, but yeah, it says free. And there's all these things. We can just find textures. Some of these are PBR textures, which terrains can't even handle yet. Some of them are just fine. Grass, flowers. I'm just going to go with the first one here. Ooh, it's hand painted, it says. So I go to the asset store. I find a thing that I like. I pretend I like it. Stylized grass texture. Ooh, it's got some bump to it. Probably at least a normal map. This texture is part of, yeah. Cool. So I click add to my assets. I accept the terms of use, which who even knows? And then I can go right to open in Unity from the web browser here. Go ahead and say, yeah, you can do that all the time. That's fine. Open in Unity editor. And it's going to open up package manager for me. 600 things apparently that I have. But stylized grass texture is already here. I'm going to hit download. I'm going to import. Oh, there's multiple. Okay. Looks like there's just the one version so far. I'm going to import that to the project, which gives me a folder called stylized grass texture with materials inside. There's a scene. There's textures. Cool. I'm just going to import all that. Lowly poly. That's fun. I like that. So come in here. There's materials. All right. So they're in my project now. I can use them. So I'm going to go back to terrain. Paint texture. I'm going to come over here and edit terrain layers. I'm going to add a new layer. I mean create. That's what I meant to say. There we go. And here's the textures that it found. And so I'm just giving it the base color, which I'm going to guess is this green right here. So I say, yeah, start with that. And the first texture becomes the default everywhere. And I can edit that layer. So right now it's just the color. Zoom way in on Boxy Boy here. Ooh. It looks like a bunch of green claws on the ground trying to grab my ankles. Hate that. I'm going to come here. I'm going to edit the terrain layer. There we go. Just grab that where it says new layer. And I can add the normal map to it. So let me go find the normal map in my textures folder. Go back to that. Thanks for that. The little purpley guy is obviously the normal. We'll drop that on there. And let's see what we can do. Yeah, set the scale up to 2. You can see it kind of like bumping out. Kind of cool. So we've got that. We only got one. We only got one grass. Okay, let's go back and find some dirt or rock or something. Oh, sorry about that again. Because I wanted to. It's this.
Sounds like a computer.
So it's this like whole Star Trek computer theme thing. We can just do away with that.
Are you Scotty? Were you beaming up texture?
I was beaming up textures, but no one liked it. Is it under mods? Where am I going to go? Whatever. We'll just mute it.
The same sort of mentality that let you shake your computer.
Listen, man.
Related to the same franchise, by the way.
Yeah. And we're done. Okay. All right. So I found some dirt. Again, we'll filter to free. I don't know. Stylized terrain texture. Looks cool, I guess. It's all like muddy and bumpy. It's going to match our bumpy stuff. Same situation. And then I'll show you some other ways to get stuff. But yeah, I'm logged in. I just click add to my assets. Always accept the thing. Don't ever question it. She's
I see.
perfect.
For the final exam, it's like duck season, but it's frog season.
All you see
The
is
ducks
grass
are
and
eating.
dirt.
I see. Yes.
Okay. We'll do the same deal. Download, import, and then we're done. And now I've got something else somewhere. So, oh, it's this. Is it the same guy? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's from the same person. So I'm going to go to terrain here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. And we'll base it on this brown texture this time. Same thing. And I'm going to give it the correct, if I can find it. So 42 is grass and 19 is dirt. So I'll give it the 19 normal map. Okay, so now I've got that. And now I can use my little paintbrush guy here. So if I scroll down, here's my brush that I could be using, just painting, like we have dirt area in the middle here. Ooh, so we got a big round brush there. These are fun. You can use all these different brush types. If I decided I wanted a dirt star, then we can put that there. You can change brush sizes and opacities, and apparently a 1800 meter star is too big. I'm just going to throw that there. Why not? So you'd only see this from space. This is definitely a crop circle, right? It's like 247 meters wide. You're going to hear meters because Unity and most software likes meters because it's universal. Not like us crazy Americans who are like, no, we do our own thing based on our previous.
Reality can be whatever I want. I can make a big
Yeah. So as a student here, I was in an undergraduate research festival. We did this project for a capstone. We recreated Solomon's Temple in 3D. I figured out how to make, we did all the conversions. I figured out how to make 3ds Max, which is what we were using instead of Blender at the time, work in qubits. Yeah, so again, the reality can be whatever we want it to. We just set up the settings and, huh? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, we stay away from that. Huh? I did not make it a Solomon's Temple dating sim, but I could see where that would be a thing. Let's never speak of it again. All right, so this is just painting textures. Our terrain's still flat. We're going to come up here to this where it says paint texture. You can just set a height, be like, boom, right here, we're going up to whatever the height's set at, right? Just going to set everything here to 50 meters tall. And I'm going to paint this right here. And everything just caps out at 50 there. Yeah. And so that's set height. And if I had like more of like a solid brush, it would just do it. So those are all 50 meter tall, who knows what. I want to imagine that God was having this much fun creating the earth. He probably had better tool sets though. So well, we just raise and lower terrain. And so that's where these other brushes come in nice. We can just kind of stroke down and make little ridges and mountains and quickly do things and make awful terrains. The brushes still work here. So yeah, there's Star Mountain. There it is, Alt and middle mouse. I keep trying to use Blender controls inside of Unity and it doesn't work. It's really annoying. Umbrella. Yeah, and then we can come back in and again we can just say that's a dirt mountain right there. Perfect. Yes. Yeah. So we're Lord of the Rings themed. Yeah, I have Sauron there is going to work out for us. So anyway, that's layers. That's terrains. So we can paint texture. We can paint holes, which is I guess okay. If you want to like make a cave system underneath there.
You have to put the height to like a negative.
It just literally says holes. So this is gonna like make a hole. Yeah, and so then anything that you will put underneath there. So the problem is we can't just like merge it with another object. So we got to finally place either a cave underneath there, or we'd have a terrain underneath it that capped up at 0 that we go down into. So I mean, there's different ways to do things. But yeah, that's what holes are for. We don't have to get into those, but could be kind of fun, you know. Probably the thing I see the most is not that. Take this down to like, I don't know, 10 or something, not 100. And over here in the middle of Mount whatever this guy is. Oh, that's wonderful. It wants to go the full height. Right. Probably what we would do is we would make something inside this mountain and use paint holes to put a hole there to be the entrance to a cave. But yeah, that got weird because it's wanting to project it flat over our giant thing. Please don't. Ever. Just never. Anyway, that's paint holes. We don't use it much. You can stamp terrain. You can smooth height. That's kind of a nice tool, right? So I made Mount whatever this is here. And I'm like, that's just crazy. And so I can get a softer brush and smooth height, and it kind of like rounds it out. No, it doesn't look as insane, but yeah. Let's check the rubric. Here we go. Thanks for that. That's funny. It even has the video from the old. Okay. So we need a terrain object. We add some height, mountains, hills. We put at least 2 materials on it. Oh, we want to add trees. All right. That's the next thing. I gave you guys trees last time in the other class. I'm just going to go find some now. So here's the other thing. If I just don't want to hit the browser every time and look for something brand new, I know I've downloaded trees sometime in the past, right? So in Unity, I'm going to go up here to Window and look at Package Manager. And it's going to open that guy that we had open before. And if you go to, instead of Unity Registry, which is all their stuff, you go to My Assets. Here is all of the things that you've downloaded. Let's just see. Yep, we're at 601 objects now that I've downloaded. And so I can just search through here for tree. It's going to search, and I've got 43 objects that say tree in them. So that's fun. From here, I can look at images. That's a nice tree. Those are fun. They say free on them, so I know you can use them too. I've got a lot of paid stuff in here too that I've acquired. Mostly? Well, we'll do poplar for now. Why not? So I'm going to download this poplar tree. While I'm waiting on that, I'm curious to see what Survival Old House is. Oh, that looks fun. Yeah, we're going to use that too. Okay. You can, so that's the thing, right? We want mostly in here, we want to be 3D artists, or 2D artists or whatever, but making an entire game and all the art yourself is a lot of work, even if it's just 2D and it's frogs and ducks. Like, it's still a lot of work, or weird cats or whatever. So you can kit bash a whole game. Like I worked with some guys back in the day who like would just make Unity games on the side. They were not artists, they were programmers. They would just go grab all these assets, build out levels, have themselves a good time. You can absolutely do a whole thing like that. No, you don't.
Going to 2.5.
It's possible.
So I could just like import like Pixar and use 2.5.
That's not the
You could just use an an ortho camera in a 3D world. You can, yeah. Yeah. There's lots of ways to do 2.5D. Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff that comes with this tree. That's fun. But I'm going to go ahead and import the whole package. And I can get lost just doing the package manager. Like it's like looking through my old Lego sets. I'm like, ooh, this is cool. I forgot I had this. Let's use that. So I'm going to use the survival old house. Yeah, I'm going to import to the project. Grab all that. And then we'll close out the package manager. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, or you'll probably wonder to yourself later in the semester, where does all that stuff go? Why is my hard drive full? It's right here. Your username, app data, roaming, Unity, asset store, 5 dot blah, blah, blah. These are all the packages that I've downloaded. This has been a much fuller folder in the past. And I'm like, you know what? I'll download them again later when I need them. And I throw them all out. But yeah, so this can get really, really stupidly full. You may have to unlock hidden folders just to even find this, but that's the path. Your user, app data, roaming, Unity. In there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that just uses that for caching, I guess. But it'll be asset store -5.x. So this folder has been in use from Unity since like 20 whatever. 20. You guys were toddlers. So yeah. No. Oh, good gosh, no. No thanks.
When I was younger and I was like in first grade, I scratched up when I studied that. It's like red
Oh,
I don't know what I was thinking.
you keyed his car without a key?
I don't know what it was.
Pro level.
Innovative.
Okay, so I've got this new ALP assets, which has got my poplar tree in it. If I go down here to prefabs, then here's my poplar tree. Now I could use this as just an asset and drag it out and say I've got a tree on top of here. And Unity's at least kind of cool enough to place it on some ground, but that's its own object now. It's also got LODs, which we'll get into later. But yeah, so it's like really highly detailed up close. There's less detail now, and then at LOD2 they took out a lot of detail. So it's already got that on it, which is nice. But we want to use this a different way. So I'm going to go to my terrain, over this next little button guy right here that's paint trees, and I'm going to edit trees, add tree. Please assign a tree. So it's looking for a prefab. Let me just go find the poplar tree. There's 2 prefabs. Fantastic. Oh no, that's just the mesh. So this more properly cubed blue guy is the prefab. I click that. I say add it. Now I've got this tree. And I can be an idiot and just hit this mass place trees and it goes everywhere. Or I can go back to our brush system and brush a bunch of trees on. All right, so I changed my brush size and density. So I'm working with 40 meters wide forests, and that's really dense, but we're going to see what it looks like. So I'm going to put a bunch of trees right there. It's already like crying about it, I think. Let me just, so there's good and bad. So when you put your trees on your terrain, the terrain does all kinds of cool stuff with the rendering. It says, look, that tree's too far off, we're not going to render it. Or it, it adds collision automatically. It does all kinds of cool stuff with it. But I can't say, let me select this area and go zoom in on it because it's part of my 1,000 meter terrain. So I'm just going to grab my cube and move it over there and then hit F, and now I'm in the forest. So here's what our brush size and density is. Perfect hideout for Robin Hood, I guess. And you can add other trees to this, but we want to paint some trees on. So I'm going to go back to that. I'll just do a few more. I'm going to up this to like, sure, 67 and pull the density down. That's still really dense. Wow. Trees. And that's what I've been wanting out of life, right? More trees, less people. That's what I want to deal with. For the good of the trees. So anyway, play with all those. It's got it. It looks like it's already set to do a random tree height. So they're not all the exact same height, which I guess we can sort of see. If we crank that way up, I guess there's even more difference than that. Oh, okay, that just makes big trees and small trees, that slider there. Little baby trees or big monster trees. Yeah, no, same, but I still play them. All right, there's other things we can do. Let's just go back and see what we're supposed to do. So we can do all kinds of stuff with that. So we want trees, and then we do grass textures. We'll do that in a little bit. But we can do other things with this. So this tree brush doesn't just have to be trees. We can add other meshes. So I can just add rocks. So again, I'm going to go to Window and to the Package Manager. How much time do we have? We'll do more stuff on Thursday. Look for rock. Not just textures. Yeah. Usually by default it's on overview here and you don't know. If I go to images, then it's going to show up here. So rock. I do rocks. Don't sing all of it. Not here. Not here. Ooh, there's some cool rocks in there. Let me just find some rocks. We'll get to guns later. Oh, stylized rocks with magic runes. Sold. And import. And again, you don't have as much to go through because you haven't hit all this add to my assets on Unity Asset Store. You don't get full access here. This is just the stuff that you have downloaded, you have claimed. So if you type in rocks in the package manager and you find nothing, it's because you haven't added anything via the asset store. Right? Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely on a pay to win system here for this class.
That means we either have to pay for it or we have to actually
get the DLC or you're not going to make it. So that's the village. There we go. Stylized rocks. Prefabs. Oh, there's bunches of rocks. Fun. Okay, good. So you can either add clusters of rocks or just regular rocks. I'm going to go back to terrain. And this says tree. It does, but it doesn't have to be trees. So I'm going to go to edit trees, add a tree, and we're going to trick the whole system and use a rock. I know. We're basically evil. Just going to add that. So now, just zoom back in here. I'll use my cube to zoom. There we go. Go back to where he's at. And I'm just going to drop a bunch of rocks right there. They're tiny. Well, tiny-ish, yeah. Yeah, we're playing Easter eggs. So we can do random heights. We can do, what else can we do? So if I don't lock it, then I can also randomize the width. And we can just say be really wide rocks. Little fat boys. You can play with these here and just drop things randomly. You'll still probably want to hand place things or go down to really like small brushes when you're like, no, I definitely need a rock right here. But if you're just like, you know, if you're just making the Garden of Eden, you're just like, let there be light and stuff. Like this is a good way to do it. Yeah. I don't even know what kind of shortcuts dude had. He's like trees. Boom. He had trees. Did he have to download a prefab? No. He just said trees. And it was done. So we're not there yet. We've still got a few steps. Anyway, so that's rocks. and other things. I mean, I could do random treasure chests across this, whatever. I'm gonna come over here to paint details, and this one's a lot of fun. Let me go find. Go to the asset store for this, just for giggles. Grass. I turned it off. I turned it off. I changed the theme. All right, you know what? We just won't do it there. Fine, we'll just do it through Unity. It's good. It's all good. Lots of practice. Package manager. You know what? No. Let's just do this ourselves. All right, open up something. I've got Photoshop. We've got 19 minutes. Let's do something dumb. Gonna create new. We'll just do like 50 pixels by 50 pixels. We're gonna keep it simple. Okay, use something else. Huh. You were going to anyway, let's be honest. But so when we're doing these billboarding textures, we can tint them later in Unity. So I'll just use a white brush. Let me clear the background. So unlock that, hide that, make a new layer. All right. 50 was dumb. We should have done bigger. The actual resolution? Yeah, we'll see that there's a problem. Oh, it just zooms it right in. Okay. All right. Fun. Okay. Go Addison. All right. I've got this 6 pixel brush, whatever, use whatever. I'm just going to make, ooh, it's grass. Yay. Do better than this, please. Then do exactly as horrible as this is. I expected that. All right, so we got this. This looks dumb, doesn't it? Let's go with it. All right, so I'm gonna file, export as a PNG. We'll throw it on the desktop because we're terrible people. We'll call it grass. Yay. Get out of here, Photoshop. I never knew you. All right. So we'll just drag that in. So I'm going to open up Explorer, or what's it called here? Is Explorer here? It's Finder on Mac. Go to desktop. Find something called grass. I'm just going to drag it into that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make an actual folder. Be a good person. So there's my textures folder. Drag in the grass. Not all of that. I've never used a computer before. Can you show me? All right, so I got grass. I dragged it in. It's by default. It's just a 2D texture shape. Let me just make this a... Do I want it to be a sprite? I don't want it to be a sprite. Just leave it at default, and it's supposed to have alpha from the texture alpha. What did I mess up? Aha, there we go. So I just had to check alpha is transparency. All right, so now I've got this horrible thing in here. Please don't hire this guy as an artist. What the heck? And back to my terrain. So I'll come over here to this grass details guy, and I can make a new details down here. So edit details, add grass texture. Well, we could have done rocks through the detail mesh here as well. Or you can do it as trees, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to add grass texture. It's already got some colors that it's going to put over the top of it. So it's already going to be apparently neon green or Texas green. Welcome to, yeah, a healthy August Texas grass. And so I'll just go find that awful thing that we made and select it and add that. And now we've got this amazing grass texture. So beautiful. And it's actually not bad, right? Like, okay, it still sucks, but it might be radioactive. Yeah. So these are billboarding. So these will turn with the camera, which works great in any 3D game, but not VR. When you're tuning the thing, and the camera is your eyes in VR, then the grass is just doing all this weird stuff. Don't do it. But yeah, for here, this is exactly when we walk around in this, you'll see this is exactly what 90% of the games that you've seen with like flowing grass is using this kind of a system. So you can paint in grass texture. So we did that, right? We checked that box on our rubric. We're going to add a mini FPS controller is what I think we said we were going to do. So let's just do that. Oh, dang it. Cover your ears, everybody. If I could do that. Wow. Did I mute everything else? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, so this guy, he's all right. We're going to make our own first-person controllers of various types later. But for week 1, day 1, yeah, we'll just borrow somebody's. And I still get the sound, but it's not as ear-piercingly terrible. Open in Unity. Yeah, and here's again where I said, hey, we may find issues because I've never done this in Unity 6 before. Hold on to your seats. I'm going to import into the project. We're going to import. Maybe we can see our grass, maybe not. So when an asset pack comes with scripts, it takes a little bit longer. Just trying to compile all that, make sure it all works together, make sure it doesn't give us 3 errors right off the bat. Haha! Should we automatically update the scripts? Yeah, why not? Go for it. Just for these files. Right? You're like, yeah, whatever. Try it. See what you can do. We'll fix it later.
Even though I'm kind of worried about coding in 2D. Like 2D is another thing for in 3D.
The code is still 2D. It's still just like flat text on a background. Yeah. It's not 3D.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, I guess. All right. By the way, if you had errors, they'd be here in the console, which is fun. So we have a warning about something in our rocks that I'm ignoring. This right here, this yellow symbol, if it's not a hard stop, I usually keep going because I'm terrible like that. All right, project. Let's go see if we can find this guy we just downloaded. Mini first-person controller, audio demo script. So he's got first-person controller or first-person controller minimal. Yeah, we'll be basic. We'll just drop this guy out here. Yep, drop out pill boy. And I'm going to drag it up a little bit because if it's down on the ground and things load in just slightly the wrong order, you fall through the floor. And so this is mayhaps the entire reason why you start from a floating bus in Fortnite. I don't know, but I like to start up here. The next thing I got to do is just take my main camera and turn it off so that it's not conflicting with the first-person camera. And then we'll just even see if it works. I'm always shocked when things work. Sort of. It doesn't work. Where's my movement?
Minimal, you can't have errors. That's what it means by minimal, is that you just
There, you got a camera. What do you want, man?
just like me, how you said.
Phones.
Input systems. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for today. Since we have 9 minutes left of class, and Ian's already packing up, he's done. I'm going to come. So let's see. This is in player settings. Edit. If I can remember where all the different settings are at. Project settings. So I'm going to come to Input Manager, Input System. I want to switch to Input Manager. Remind me where I do that. There we go. Player. I think it's a player. Come to Input. There we go. Yeah, so I went for project settings, player. You can type up here and it'll filter some things out. Active input handling, I can change this back to old input manager. Apply. Yes, save. Oh, fantastic. It's going to reboot. Yeah, it's like, you know what? We're going to close Unity and reopen again. Where do y'all have to be? I still own you for 8 minutes. I mean, you're on my time. So,
That was a threat, by the way.
lock me back up.
That was a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't even playing. What, the Python?
2,463 items. I never even clicked.
This means that no. Do you want to enable? No, I don't want to enable system because I wanted manager. I'm going to say no. There we go. Don't restart it a second time. Clear the console. Hit the play button. You have it. Look at this. Look at this. And so, yeah, the grass just literally like follows you around. So if you do it too wide and like too patterned where it's obvious, then it's like, what the heck? But if you just a couple of sprouts, like just, then it's not as noticeable.
Can we use like a human face?
Oh yeah, no, you can billboard whatever, and look, it just flows in the wind. So you can just like have a person like whatever. And then you can back to the terrain while we're here. Then you can change this, right? And say we are on. I'm just going to edit this. We are on an alien planet, and the grass is purple. But you know what? When grass on the alien planet gets dry, it turns like deep red.
It doesn't look terrible.
Right? Like, so you can do whatever with this. It's got some preset colors, but go nuts. All right, that's probably enough for today because Ian said he was done, and then everyone else started packing up. Joshua was the second, by the way. Not that we're keeping track. We'll come back in. So that's just basic. Like that was the first part of the final from summer. We'll add in a bunch of stuff and colliders and do some cool stuff on Thursday. Good to see you all back mostly. It's good to see most of you? No, it's good to see everybody.
He's legally required to say that.